Welcome back to Lundy County. We're in Michigan, where the Michigan International Speedway resides, the 2-mile superspeedway facility set upon the Irish Hills for today's BPNR D2 for the Rowdy Forever 102. We'll get to the reasoning behind that, but before we get to that, might as well take a look at the point standings while qualifying is ongoing. Colin Teague has a large lead still, 122 over Dragons. Carter, 3rd place. McGarry 4th. Mantisville's 5th. So, round number 8 of the season out of 12. And with this being a full season points format, unlike Division 1, this is Colin Teague's championship to lose, effectively. So, why is it that Cowboys went on to? Well, from their thought process, this race will be 51 laps, the 102 for 102 miles, and I'm presuming that this went first in terms of measuring distance. Meanwhile, the D1 race had to take up the other 132. If you make those numbers up correctly, you get 234 miles. The amount of wins Kyle Busch had mustered up in the top 3 divisions of NASCAR. So, 51 laps for today's D2 event. So, might as well take a look at qualifying now that's over. Lau on pole position. Cole Rodriguez alongside. He didn't do yesterday's race, so he supposedly wants to do one Michigan race. Colin Teague, your points leader, sits 3rd with Skowden in 4th. Dylan Legrand in 5th with Harry Crawford in 6th. Dragons in 7th, Riley Goff in 8th. It'll be McGarry's and Cooper make up row 5. Truxell and Jackson Brown will make up row 6, with Cooper Wall and Mattis Bells in row 7. TG Reading and William Viola make up row 8, with the former setting the qualifying lap. And those are, I'm presuming, to be the 16 cars, unless Viola doesn't want to drive, and it shall be 15 on the grid for today's events. So the immediate reaction, if you watched the D1 race, is that this isn't the same track model. You'll be correct in this case. Yesterday I was using the B version, which had pretty much a single foul train along the outside lane, making for a pretty lackluster finish and just difficult overtaking in general. So, going to be Michigan BR for today, and this has better multi-groove using properties of the CSE version that was I can't speak, either was used or was going to be used as that season came to a halt. I didn't remember. I drove that season, but it's like so long ago that I don't remember if this race was ran or not. But anyway, but yeah, this is a grip slop, so gonna have better balancing of the top side and those side and even the middle, given the wide surface. So it should be a good race all around, better than D1. So third place qualifying for Colin Teague, your points leader, got really good track position, and even with this being a completely different version, it's still a track position based track, given that this is CTS physics, so your best way to move up the field is just catch them up in the long run, but in the short run, and even as you come into green flag pit stops, it's better to be as high placing as you can before you get that race ban eventually. And like I mentioned, this is the second race of the Kyle Busch week for BPNR. Got the whole salute thing yesterday, but we're not doing that today. But that doesn't mean that there is a lack of remorse. It's just that not a lot of people this time around. But nonetheless, the drivers, especially those in D1, coming back with the Kyle Busch tributes, representing different parts of Kyle Busch's racing career. Nick Crawford coming back to D2 once more. He won at Darlington earlier this season and looked to be a potential D2 champion if not for suspension, making him miss Watkins Glen in last season. But he did very well in yesterday's race and could have probably have a good chance at the win, but again, it was just so difficult to pass. He was 5th in line, which even if you were 5th in line, it was just, you're better off just staying where you were, as D-Dog alluded to during post-race. But at least from practice, I didn't see a whole lot of single file train, and if my recollections of the Z series are correct, it wasn't the case even then, so you get better chances to make moves, and yeah, if you get the right handling car, you got quite a good shot of tearing through the field in the final laps. Got 4 minutes and 30 remaining in happy hour, and well, I'm already out of topics. So I suppose we're being allowed to practice pin entry as he should. Back it down to 55, and it's going to be crucial if we do get green flag pit stops. Assuming you're not TT reading. But yeah, I believe we are set to go as via communications through TeamSpeak. So yeah.
Drivers, to your cars.
Give me a moment. Just tech stuff behind the scenes. Make sure everything's up to code. Alrighty. Again, small field, we're expecting a minimum 15.
Drivers, start your engines!
And engines fire off here in the Irish Hills. The wheels begins to roll. It's going to be 51 laps today, making up 102 miles. 51 being a prominent racing number for Kyle Busch in the truck division. Going to be CTS physics for today, so gotta handle these bricks of a race car around, even if visually they look like cup cars. It's gonna be 2x spare and overtime possible, so 5 extra laps in the ticker and in race, just in case. Unless we get a reset. That's cool.
Drivers, to
So one driver missed the gridding, so hence why the reset occurred. So just make sure everyone is on the grid. I believe there's only Cold Rod, and I think that's it. Don't know if I don't think the 27's racing Viola, but there's Cold Rod, so we are set to roll.
Drivers, start your engines!
And we shall try this again. So that's per usual. Resets can occur here if there's a wreck early enough or there's some mechanical failure also within the first few laps of the race, so that's just BPNR being lenient, which is fair enough. Base car heads in, and it shall be Landau versus Cole Rodriguez on the front row. The non-existent restart zone is here, and we are underway in the Irish Hills. Much like yesterday, already seeing some 3 wide, Eddie Crawford making moves on the outside. And that'll be Skyred Din trying to get by, but he has to surrender that. For the lead, Colin Teague started 3rd, and looking to be side by side with Landon Lau, not quite, but he is going to try at minimum get 2nd from Cole Rodriguez. And it's going to be shuffled out from the outside line, which is prevailing down the D-shaped tri-oval as we complete the opening lap. McGrath up to 3rd. Colin Teague washes up, bounces off the wall. Again, Sky gonna try to split 3 wide for 4th. And Thomas Troxel to his inside. Oh, and the one's gonna spin nearly. He saves it. Crawford would force to get off the gasol, and is technically a big one at turn number 4. Got Brown, got Cooper Wall, got TJ Reading. I believe that Gabby's got a piece of it. So, much like yesterday, we got an early caution with Landon Lau leading at the race back. Cole Rodriguez 2nd, and Dylan Legrand in 3rd. So we saw firsthand, it was Troxel that got loose underneath the 13, and he saved the car, but Crawford then was the cause of it, shot up the track trying to avoid him. Yeah, the 78 gets on the brakes, 36 was forced to react, he slams the brakes, and everyone behind just nowhere to go. And even behind is like just reactionary braking, be 42 Cooper Wall self-spinning, trying to break mid-corner as we go on board with Max's Hells to give you a better perspective on that. Well, we're not even 10 miles in, and we already got a good chunk of wrecked race cars. I believe Skyrim missed their pit box, so they'll have to go around again. And Lanilao narrowly wins off the pit lane, cutting across Korod and Negron for your top 3 out of the pit lane. Although, like I said, that was a 13 who missed the pit box. Might as well look at that. And yeah, just missed the pit box. I believe, if I'm correct, is this flag up here, pit here if you're gay, if you can read that, but yeah, it is what it is. 42 goes to the rear for incident responsibility. You see the 9 and 20 cars there. Got a good amount of rear end damage. They won't have that rear end downforce to keep themselves stable. This is going to be choose cone this lap, and it is right here. Just past the start finish line. So Dan is going to commit to staying out despite the mishap, and he'll choose outside, letting allow the first driver on 4 tires. Chooses the opposite, the inside lane. Mantis bills back down the pit lane. Just get extra damage repair if possible. So early yellow at Michigan is going to be 1-2 green, going green at lap number 6. Behind Den and Lyle are Negron and Cole Rodriguez, row 2, then Teague and Dragons, row number 3. And Crawford, he got the short end of the stick when Troxel spun in front of him. He's kind of trying to find his way forward from 10th place on this restart. They now line up 2 by 2 to go green. It is indeed 15 cars for tonight. It's still a really good field for D2 standards. But there goes the base car. We await the green flag, controlled by the game. It'll be the 13 from the outside, who gets a pretty good jump despite the old worn tires, and we are back racing. 3 wide down the bottom. Here comes the 78 of Dragons with a very good restart. And gaining a little bit of a push from Troxel. All watches out the hill, and that'll be 2-car accident. That'll be Negron and Cole Rodriguez at turn 2. And just ahead of Negron is TG Reading as well, so 3 cars actually. That'll be a net collision behind Lyle, who wins the race back again, but it's going to be 3 wide for second. Troxel gets the better of Riley Goff and Dragons. Might be a different track, but the same song, different toilet. Don't know if this would be the camera to use, but we'll find out. 70 on the inside just washes up. It might have hit the apron and just shoots upwards towards the 97 and 91 who are beside him. Going forward with the 20 again. just to get a good vantage point. Yeah, and an 81 self-spun as well, so yeah, that's from up the road. He might have saw the 78 hit the apron, so incident responsibility, they'll go to the rear. It'll be 2 cars to stay out, that being Lyle and Goff. Third on back, opting to pit. May have been only 1 lap, but any kind of tire advantage you can get, especially under caution, is definitely worth pitting, even this early on. Looks to be 2 tires for Gravoy, who wins off the pit lane. Is that Gravoy? Am I? No, Brown, sorry. I'm used to Gravoy running the Tower General car from other leagues, so my bad. It's Jackson Brown, takes 2 to win off the pit lane. And then actually completes their pit stop properly. Gets out second. The Dragon's third, but he's gonna go to the rear. So that promotes the 96 to that favor. But the 9's also gonna go to the rear. Looks to be for speeding. Choose cone this lap, and you just get everyone queued up here. Get good amount of time given the 2 miles we have here. Gonna wait the pace car. I'm gonna zoom this out. Might be too close. So top 2 opt to stay out. They'll complete the front row. Third and fourth choose outside, giving Troxel the inside line. He'll line up behind Golf, but it is the 99 of Landau who has control of the restarts. Not that it matters, but just something to keep note of, that the 99 is the race leader, both of them on worn tires. So they're gonna join the back, and the 9 is on 2 tires, but got a speeding penalty. Everyone else took 4. As we are set to complete the second caution period here early on at Michigan for BPNR Division 2. Haven't seen a whole lot from Riley Goff in terms of speed or just experience in general. So we'll see how they go about this. They did alright at Charlotte. That was their more recent D2 race prior to today. Just hanged around in the mid-pack. Lap 10. Waiting, and there we go. Really good jump for Golf, but the number 1 of Troxel got a better jump. He's gonna go 3 wide on the inside. And maybe 4 wide as then peaks middle between the 37 and 99, but thinks better of it. And Troxel surges to the lead with a blinding restart on fresh rubber. Now he's gonna get split 3. The 37 getting a push from McGilreath. Goes inside, Landau trying to surge from the outside. But the number 1 is able to defend. The 37 slots up to the outside, just behind him, and in front of Lyle. Trying to get Good amount of racing here as we complete 10 laps out of the scheduled 51. Lyle on the outside gets loose. Keeps it under control, but that forces this 37 to nearly get hit by McElrace, who promotes himself up to second. I saw the 36 having a bit of an issue, likely just dropping to the rear. So McElrace to second. Landon Lyle remains in third. And here comes Crawford. And trying to take over that third place position. And those two is Skylar Den in fifth. Alright, pick your partner who you want to go with. A Toyota driver pushes another Toyota into turn 3 and gives Harry Crawford third place. Golf, after restarting second, fades back to 6th. Tegan 7th, and Cole Rodriguez going to be 8th place. And apparently it is a caution cooldown, so whether they like it or not, we're gonna have this green flag run. 96 gets a run, the one of Troxel trying to defend. And here comes Tiger on the outside. Gonna be scouted in for 5th place, yeah. I had it right. And Crawford on the inside goes up to second. McGalloway's fading in at number 96. Loses third. He's going to lose fourth. And it's going to be 3 wide for 5th almost. But then should get around him as well as Riley Goff. Teammates up front, that'll be Seven Hills All Sport Truck. So the team owner leading this race with his driver Crawford, a chase driver in the D1 race. He sits second. He stayed out during his most recent caution, just trying to get any kind of rotation. That defect of tires is not really doing much. It's only 1 lap of racing prior to that, but it is 2x wear, so it's effectively 2 laps, which could make a difference. But if you handle your tires right, don't get too greedy with them, you can still pay off by being rewarded with track position, as it is proving to him. Troxel up the hill out of 2 allows Crawford to get side by side, but it's going to be stream pass on the outside, but here comes Cole Rodriguez to give him a push. In the top 6, it is 4 Toyotas versus 2 Dodges. Excuse me. 4 Toyotas versus 2 Dodges. And the manufacturer rightfully nearly a hit for 4th as Cole Rodriguez makes his way up to 4th, gained by Colin Teague. As he stuck side by side for 5th, it's going to be 3 wide for P2. Cole Rod through the middle. He gets Crawford, but is still gonna have to try to get 2nd from Landon Lyle. He's got the preferred line through 3 and 4, and up to 2nd place is Cole Rodriguez. But Colin Teague, we thought he was slipping, but he rebounds just as quickly as he faded. Gets 3rd from Lau. Here he comes challenging for 2nd. And Crawford looked to give him a push. goes outside to push Lau instead. Lau will get clear to third place. Again, he washes up, so yeah, these tires for the 99 just not holding up as he would like it. And nearly door banging down the start finish line are the 51 and 76. Whole contact up B. Crawford with a neck collision. Skyler then saves it, but that will be still a caution as it included two cars. That was a 77 in the ground also spinning with them. And at the race back, it will be Thomas Stroxel, Cole Rodriguez, and Landon Lau, your top three. What will be the third caution of the day at Michigan for BPNR D2? Well, there was an additional wreck on the front straightaway, but we'll look into that. Like I mentioned, they were practically door banging at the front straightaway, Crawford and Teague. And they just get a little too close, and unfortunately, Crawford gets a little dice of netcode. May not actually be netcode. I might have to take a better look. No, that's not necessarily netcode. It's just actual door banging, but that's just NR for you. As a result of that meant the 13 of Den didn't really have anywhere to go. Neither did the 77 Legrand, who keeps it off the inside wall. What a save for the 77. Now, what happened to Dragons here? Oh, out of 4, he gets tapped by the 37 Riley Goff, and the 78 sits in the wrong facing direction at the front straightaway, but he's got it back going. Alright, the 91, he got a faster pit stop, but is trying to leave. He gets blocked by Lyle, but he still wins off the pit lane, and he's going to spin. So we rewind to look at that. The 91's trying to leave. He only is taking 2. He just gets boxed in by the 99. The 91 himself got a poor parking job in. Yeah, it is what it is. Just real bizarre pit road shenanigans. So as he gets out the pit lane, I wanted to... It's not necessarily contact, although it looked like Colruyt got tapped by Troxel, but the 91 was already experiencing wheel spin. So, yeah, that's just a mistake on his end. Not necessarily contact. So a fumble from the lead of the race, coming out of the pit lane, and he's going to come back down to likely get better fuel economy, as I don't suspect those tires are exactly worn. I believe someone else also went in, that being Lanalao also. That Pay now would set themselves up for a potential splash and the final pit stop. The field can take you anywhere from 23 to 27 laps. Really depends on how well you save your tires, save your fuel. So under caution period number 3, Thomas Troxel went into the pits as the leader and is leading still after his former teammate of Cole Rodriguez fumbles it out of the pit lane. Gonna be Colin Teague P2. There's Gam McGarry 3rd, Crawford in 4th, Skylar Dead in 5th. Down the ground P6, Matisville 7th, Cooper Wall P8, Bradley Goff at 9th, and TG Reading completing top 10, no DNFs. So all 15 cars remain on the circuit as we come up to the choose cone. And I'm just cycle through cans, but these two, Cole Rodriguez and Lyle, back down the pit lane, so I don't know what their plan is. This is live footage. So I get the case for Cole Rodriguez. He took 2, spun out, he's in the back, so you might as well get 4, but as for Lyle, I don't know what the plan is. About to conclude the 3rd caution here at Michigan, just about to be halfway through, and it's going to be 2 laps for the stage. There is not a caution for these stages, but it is still going to award points. Some drivers may only get team points, as that is the case for the D1 guys, but for D2 drivers, you get both team and drivers. So Thomas Troxel lead us to the green with the D2 points leader, Colin Teague, joining him on the front row. Back on the way, 23 laps down out of the scheduled 51. Oh, nearly a spin just ahead of 37. That'll be Skylar Den, but he keeps it under control. And Amy Crawford gets the better of Teague, proing himself to 2nd. And trying to hunt down his team boss to win this halfway. McGarry's got a better run, but didn't necessarily get the best outcome. Wanted to get by the ground, but he himself is going to be under pressure for the final top 5 position. We'll see if Crawford's able to do anything, but I don't suspect it will. As Colin Teague is right on his rear bumper. And yeah, that 76 is not going to develop a better run. So it will be Troxel who wins the halfway. The race will remain under green flag conditions. Crawford in 2nd, Colin Teague in 3rd, Denegron in 4th, and Skylar Den all receive points. Might as well look back here. Got Lyle and Cole Rodriguez trying to crawl their way forward, having to deal with these slower cars, whether it be on merit or via race damage they sustained during the early portions of the race, and that's going to be more damage for the number 91. He becomes a victim of Wheating's warping shenanigans, but it is only single car, so unfortunately the 91 is gonna have to suffer. Then up to 4th. As a quick side note, gained by Dylan Legrand. As they go single file throughout Michigan, at least it's not on the top side. But we would still like them to bunch back up and get some pack racing. So that leaves Lau as the only driver on the strategy to potentially clutch and win the race via not taking the final pit stop the others will have to do. Currently sitting 9th, and right now off the lead draft as the 42 has lost touch with them. Same with the 37 potentially. Just following the 13 around doing the ground. He's witnessing the 13 Skyridden trying to make any kind of momentum work on exit by diamonding the corner, and he is going to get by Colin Teague doing that, going up to 3rd place. Legrand tries to follow, gets the apron, he avoids contact, but he's going to be in the clutches of Cam McElreath to potentially lose 5th place. As I heard there was a spin, that being Cooper Wall. Quick look at it. And trying to block 2 lanes at once. Already got by Landon Lau, but you get 1 too many blocks, and the 20 of Mantis Bells was not having it. Oh, that was for 9th place, I believe. Toyota remains firm in the top 3 with Colin Teague's Dodge in 4th. Well, that's not going to be the case anymore as Skyridden gets tapped by that Dodge Challenger. It's going to be a single car accident. So what was a Toyota 123 has become Toyota 12 with a Peugeot now in 3rd place in the form of Dylan Legrand. At the 51, Colin Teague just understandably loses a lot of speed after the contact, and that sends the 13 back to 11th. Yeah, I think they're spread out enough to where we could look through this incident. This is in replay. And Crawford likely got bumped from the 13, which got him into the wall. The 13 responds by letting go of the gas, and the 51 was just that ready for that. You know, just pushing the pusher. The best way to put it. So back live as we complete 33 laps of the scheduled 51. Thomas Troxel leads with Harry Crawford in 2nd. Dylan Legrand under pressure from Cam McElreath from 3rd. Colin Teague back to 5th. Riley Goff in 6th. And you gotta go a few ways back before you find a battle for 7th with Jackson Brown and Sierra Cooper. The Mantis Wells at 9th, witnessing that battle, and Landon Lau on an alternate strategy in 10th. All 15 cars remain in the race, but 3 of them, sorry, 4 now, are altered via their issues, self-spins, whatever it may be. So Lanilao and Cole Rodriguez, both of them pitted at the last possible opportunity before we went green on lap 23. Meanwhile, the leaders, because of the extra caution laps, they are gonna have to try to go from lap 21 to the conclusion of 51. So effectively, it's around 28 laps, which might be possible. Keyword might. It's just that for Lyle's case, it's a lot more favorable because it's within that fuel window. Meanwhile, these leaders are probably not going to make it if they remain at this pace. And just for reference, this group here, the Land Lao's a part of, they're all within the mid 40s. Meanwhile, the lead group is in the low 40s, so that's like 40.5.6 versus 40.0s and 1s. So these guys are not saving whatsoever as they've come to lap Cole Rodriguez, the second driver on that alternate strategy, got spun out via netcode. Get by him with a Swiftly. Commenting on the rear bumper of McGarry's. We saw what happened earlier, but he's going to lay off and give McGarry's a chance to make the move for third place potentially on Dylan Negron. While those three battle, the top two continues to try to pull away. They're coming to lap Cooper Wall as he'll make his way down the pit lane. So Teague able to move up to 4th, catching McGarry's and overtaking him. And now he's going to try to go for 3rd now. And McGarry's wasn't able to do it, then maybe Teague will have a bad crack at it. The 77 did smack the wall, so that might help him, although Teague is not close enough. Although he gets a push from McGarry's, gonna try to send it in. I don't even think a paper could fit between the front bumper of Teague and the rear of Negron through turn 3 we rode on board. There was a spin that didn't get called out. But let's see, everything's fine. Got a couple of stragglers pitting. So if you're not confident that you're going to make it, i.e. the leaders, you're probably better off pitting soon, which is splitting the final leg of this race in half. And the leaders have fallen down to 40.4s. 3rd through 6th, within the 4.5s and 6s. That's the lap car. So that leaves the 41. Excuse me. That leaves the second group with running around 41 second lap time. So they're still losing time. Around half a second slower to the lead group. With 10 to go at Michigan. And these three aren't necessarily done. The 77, 51, and 96 all still nose to tail for third place. And Big Gary's out. I'll be real, I don't know what that move's about. Like, I get the motif, but effectively you're just costing yourself speed down the front straightaway trying to do that. So maybe don't do that if you're happening to listen. But on the contrary, Cam McGilvery has impressed me. As of recent, he's been keeping his car clean and running up towards the front, assuming he doesn't get collected in a wreck and he qualifies up there, but yeah, raced him Monday at Cars, and he won a race there, and that being Daytona, but he was also running pretty quick at Auto Club and most recently Las Vegas, so he's definitely turned up something. He cooked up something to be able to keep up and currently running 5th place, and that's just adding more evidence to his resume that he has reformed in one aspect. So hopefully he continues trending upward, keeping his nose clean, and winning races more often. That doesn't necessarily winning at that doesn't include super speedways. I'll say that, because his last 2 wins came at Daytona from Cars, as I mentioned, but even prior to that, it was OSCC at Talladega, so 2 super speedways. While they are impressive in their own respective discipline of NASCAR racing, you gotta try something. Like, Michigan is also acceptable, kind of, depending on the track, but ultimately, I won't be saying too much more about him until he starts winning at intermediate short tracks or even the road courses. We get Lyle trying to overtake the 81, who's been lagging a storm, already killed the 91 from that regard, who's actually up a road. But here in comes the leaders. And this is a pretty late pit entry for Michigan standards, little ways towards the front straightaway, or start finish rather, compared to turn 4 from yesterday. As we hit 5 to go, the top 5, all of them are in the pit lane, top 6 rather, as the 37 also joins them. This would be splash and go, maybe 2 tires actually, for Troxel and Crawford, as both of them leave the pit lane without the rest of their draft mates. Dylan Grant exits 3rd, Riley Goff, and they're taking a long time on Colin Teague, and he'll be the ultimate loser in that. Enter the pit lane, 4th place, within a second of the leader, and he is nowhere near close to them now in 6th place. In comes Colrod and TD Wheating. Colrod likely pitting just to get new tires after his spin. He was on the same strategy as Lyle, but that spin ultimately did him in. So that leaves Landon Lyle out on the track. Again, it is possible to make it, given he pitted at lap 23, that it's going to be a close one. So while he enters turn 1, Harry Crawford, the first out of the pit lane, just exits 4. So he's got a bit of breathing room to work with, but he's really off the pace as as 36 breezes by him on the outside. But here this time, as he enters 3, just hear him clutch in, just trying to save fuel. Doesn't necessarily get the green light to stop saving and just get to the finish line as soon as he would like. So 13 unlaps himself, going to be 2 to go. Anyone insult to injury gets a speeding penalty, serving his drive-through. See, and Crawford only gained 3 seconds that time, so he's gotta hope that a 99 does not have enough fuel. He is trying his best to gain the 99, going at most 158 down the back straightaway. So this is going to be a tight margin. To taking the shortest way around the track, Lyle has 2 more miles to see if his bonsai strategy is going to get him in victory lane. A 4 seconds gained, Crawford. I don't think it'll be enough time. Going 138 through the corner. Not getting out of 140. I think he's sputtering. And here comes Crawford. Is going to be down to the line. And be Landon Lyle, who barely gets it at the line. Using the clutch to clutch up to a bonsai race win. See at the line, Harry was just so close. Misses out by car length. Not even. But if Crawford get a better run through one set of corners, maybe if he got out pit lane quicker, just that kind of margin is how Harry Crawford narrowly lost this race. Well, a close one at that. Really good. So unofficial race results, Lane allowed your race winner, Harry Crawford, in P2. Thomas Troxel, 3rd. B. Dylan Ground in 4th. Miguel Reese 5th. Riley Golf in P6. Colin Teague with that slow final pit stop in 7th. As Sierra Cooper ruins this, I'm going to kill him. Then it's Brown, then Wells, I'm presuming. Then Dragons, then Reading, Wall, and Cole Rodriguez, completing the 15-car grid. So I might as well save this, and might as well take you through the Turkey timeline, assuming no one wants an interview. The field went green, being led by Lanalao and Cole Rodriguez to set forth 102 miles. Then lap 2, already got early trouble. Troxel gets this from Crawford, shoots him up the hill. 36 spins, tries to avoid, same with the 42, and that causes a big pileup. And putting great damage to many of the drivers here. Not able to complete 5 miles without some sort of damage. They wrecked under yellow. This one I didn't see. How do you rank under yellow? Goobers. All three of you here, Cooper Wall, Sierra Cooper, and Jackson Brown, all three of you are goobers. Okay, damage repair. On the ensuing restart, lap 6, the 78 gets the apron, shoots upward towards the two cars on his outside, Cole Rodriguez and Dylan DeGron, and also self-spinning and solidarity is TG Reading, triggering caution number 2. Then it is the number 20 on lap 12, self-spinning, gets the 81-42 also collected, and this was during the caution cooldown, so no caution was thrown for that. Lap 19, got Crawford and Colin Teague making contact out of 2, and that shoots both those two straight, but for the two cars behind them, Skyraden and Dylan DeGron, both of them go spinning, triggering caution number 3. And while during that race back, number 37 Riley Golf gets into the number 78, puts him backwards. And then later has a skill issue. Try and get through as soon as I can, Lyle. I know you're poking me. Lap 26, just after the halfway, Cole Rodriguez on alternate strategy gets netcoded by the infamous TG Reading warping shenanigans. Takes him out of the race. Out of the running order, that is. Lap 30, Cooper Ball, not clear. Number 20, Matt Wells goes for a spin. But that will be only a single car accident. Lap 31, contact amongst the top 3, pushing the pusher. It'll be Colin Teague spinning, Skyraden. It might be a wall hit, yes it is. I believe the rest of these are just wall hits, so. The 81's just scary trying to race him. And at the finish line, that much is the margin of victory. Landau on an alternate strategy, not wanting a pit stop, wins the race and gets wrecked afterwards. And that was your Turkey timeline. And Michigan, really good. Oh, now you want to leave. Landau poked me in the TeamSpeak as I was doing that final highlight reel. And as soon as I'm ready for him, he decides to leave. What the fuck? Bozo. So, I'm just gonna wrap it up since no one else wants an interview. Tomorrow, be CCRS at USA. That'll be 8:25. Friday, Budweiser is actually off this week. That's just a late announcement during this afternoon. So they'll leave tomorrow with their regular season. Not regular season, the season finale at Atlanta with Essex later that night, heading to Five Flags Speedway. Saturday is the penultimate race for IFAR's inaugural chase and their season 16. They'll go to Iowa, the final short track of the season. So that leaves me with no streams until next week. But for BPNR D2, their next race will be at Tucson, a new track coming to NR, courtesy of Carter Friesen. And that'll be exciting. New track, no one. I don't suppose many people have driven the track and other sims, so it's a really good test to see who adapts to the race conditions as soon as they can to win the race. But that pretty much concludes the broadcast. Again, I would say my next stream won't be until Tuesday, but because Budweiser is off, and, well, I'm actually gonna try something tomorrow. I'm just gonna stream my POV as I race tomorrow. I'm gonna take it on the streets of Chicago at the NRA. You see, if you saw the video on a Roblox race through Central Montana, that's the same league. So I'm just running part-time stuff over there. Just pretty much a road course race, and might as well stream my POV for that tomorrow. So maybe try something a bit different. So with that, if you want to watch it, that's up to you, but otherwise, until next time, whether it be tomorrow, if for you viewers, whether it be tomorrow or next Tuesday for BPNR D1, thank you for watching as always,